Hello everybody! Welcome to another episode of Cooking with FatMat. Tonight we're going to be using the cast iron Dutch oven and we're going to be making some Sloppy Joe Tater Tot Casserole. It's going to be amazing. Everybody in the family is going to love this. Let's get to it. Alright, the first thing that we're going to do is add a little bit of olive oil to the cast iron. And I'm going to spread that around. We're going to let that heat up a little bit. And then we are going to put in 2 cloves of garlic, minced, and brown that up just to where it gets golden brown. That's step number 1. Alright, so that's nice and warm. I've got my cloves of garlic already minced up. And we are on medium heat for this. So we're going to let that brown up just for a couple of minutes. I love garlic in everything, even on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, even in cereal. I'm just kidding, but I do love garlic. Alright, now that the garlic is browned up, I'm gonna find my scissors here and I'm gonna open up a package of lean ground beef, just 1 pound. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, there we go. Not that you don't know what a pound of ground meat looks like, but hey. I'm going to break apart all the chunks of meat and continue to do that as it cooks down. So we're going to brown up all of this meat with the garlic cloves now. Stir it all around, make sure we don't have anything sticking on the cast iron. Yep, nothing sticking. We've got it mixed up with the garlic. Now we're just going to let that brown. It smells good already. Just ground beef and garlic. It smells delicious. Alright, let's let that brown up a little bit. I'm going to preheat my oven on bake to 425 degrees. Start. Let that oven start to heat up. Okay, and while that meat browns and the oven heats up, I'm going to open up some tomato sauce. Okay, now for the tomato sauce, I only want 4 ounces, but I didn't see any of the small cans at the grocery store today, so I'm going to use a measuring cup. And I'm going to gently pour 4 ounces of tomato sauce in here. We're going to try not to spill things tonight. Okay, there's 4 ounces. And then the next step is going to be ketchup. I'm going to use a measuring cup here. And I'm going to pour in 1/2 cup of ketchup. That's 4 ounces. And then I'm going to put the tomato sauce in the ketchup. What we're doing right now is we're making the Sloppy Joe sauce from scratch. Okay, next ingredient is going to be brown sugar. And we are going to use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. There's 1. There's 2. And then the next ingredient is going to be Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of this. 1. 2. Now we're going to come back and check on our meat. It's browning up nicely. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because while I'm making the sauce, I don't want this meat to overcook. All right, for the sauce, the next step is going to be 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. Okay, and the next ingredient is, make sure I've got this in focus here, garlic powder. And we are just going to use 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. All right, the next ingredient is ground pepper. Now this is just to taste. It's gonna vary depending on how much you like. And we're feeding kids tonight, so I don't wanna put too much. Probably 1/4 teaspoon. All right, next step, time to mix. Now another thing you can add to this would be diced onions, if you like onions. I love onions, but my kids don't. Now, if you do decide to use chopped onions or diced onions, you want to cook them with the meat. Taste test? Delicious. All right, let's check on the meat. The meat is ready. I'm just gonna chop it up a little bit. Make it nice and fine. Get rid of any big chunks. And again, you always want to grab the handle after your cast iron is really, really hot. You always want to make sure to burn your hand. That's part of the recipe. It makes things taste better actually, because then you can say that you put some love in it. And that's actually pretty hot. Don't do that. I was kidding. Okay, the meat's ready. Now, we are going to pour our sauce into it. And we want all of that sauce. So I'm gonna grab my spoon here. Okay, we're gonna stir that all in. Oh, my oven's preheated to 425. It's ready to go. Before I'm ready, it is ready. Alright, so the next ingredient is going to be your choice of plain Jane pinto beans. You want to make sure and drain these and rinse them before you put them in. Let's do that now. Alright, now I'm going to let the water drip out of those. Alright, next step is adding those rinsed beans to our meat. We're going to stir those in really well. Alright, now that those are stirred in, we're going to let this thing simmer on low. I've already moved it to low. We're going to let it simmer on low for about 15 minutes or so. And what that will do is make the sauce really thicken up really nicely. So I'm going to pack it down and make it level and let that simmer. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to actually add this to it, some French onions, just a little bit. Just to give it some oniony flavor. What do you think? Let's do it. It's a casserole. Has to have onions. So let's get those mixed up in there now. Oh, this smells delicious, guys. I wish you could smell it. Okay, that's mixed up in there now, and we'll let it simmer for a little while longer. Alright, so this has been simmering for about 5 minutes or so, and I believe the sauce has actually thickened up quite nicely. I said 15 minutes, but I don't think it actually takes that long. You just have to eyeball that part of it. The important thing is you just want it to simmer so all the flavors meld together and the sauce thickens up. And we are just about ready for the next ingredient. I'm going to flatten that out. Okay, yep, it's ready for the next ingredient, and that is sharp cheddar cheese. We're going to put about 1 cup of cheddar cheese on the top of this, which is about half of this package. spread it out. And that's about half. And yes, I washed my hands, don't worry. Spread the cheese out nice and even on the top of that. Alright, now we are ready for the next ingredient, which is frozen tater tots. Now this is a 28 ounce bag. I really only want to put about 16 ounces on here, or whatever will fit. I just want to do about one layer across the tops of the cheese. So we'll spread out these tater tots here and make a one layer thick layer. And this is something you can get your kids to help with too. As long as they're smart enough not to burn themselves, you can get them to help. You can make smiley face designs, a star design, a circle, or a spiral design. If your kids like cooking, you can get them involved. I think there's room for one more right there. Sure. Perfect. Oh, another. Oh, we can put another one right here. I love tater tots. And while I'm doing this, I have the stove on low. It's still simmering underneath there. Put the cheese up. No, I'm not. I'm not going to put the cheese up. We're going to use more cheese, but I am going to put the tater tots back in the freezer. All right. Last step. We're going to put some additional cheese on top here. Not the full cup, maybe a half cup. Just a little sprinkles. That looks good. Maybe a little more. There we go. All right, now it's time to put this in the oven. So remember, we set our oven to 425, and I'm gonna grab this towel that's right here on my oven, and we're gonna put this in the oven right now. You wanna put that on the center rack, and we're gonna let that thing bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Just until the tater tots are brown and the cheese is melty. And don't forget to turn off your stove. Okay, now we wait. Alright guys, so again, this recipe is probably not something that you see very often. You may have had it before, I don't know, but it's not very popular, I can tell you that. But it is delicious. It's delicious comfort food for your entire family. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, let's take a look real quick here. That is looking delicious. The cheese is melting. The tater tots are getting brown. All right, let's close the door. We'll check back in a minute. All right, guys. We've got about 3 minutes left on the timer. It might need a couple more minutes, but we're gonna go ahead and check on it one more time. It's time to pull it out of the oven. Here's the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ooh, baby, that looks good. Let me show you that up close. The tater tots are brown. The cheese is melty. Now we gotta let it cool off and give it a taste. Ooh. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Oh, one-handed job here. Now we're going to top it off with a little bit of extra cheese. Beautiful. Now for the very last ingredient, sour cream. Just a little bit on top. Boop. 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 Are you eating it straight out of the pan?
Yep. It looks gross, but it tastes delicious.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put some cayenne pepper in my bowl. Delicious. Can't not have cayenne in your food.
You know, that's a really good idea. I feel like a little cayenne pepper on mine too. Let's do it. Ooh. All right, taste test. Cayenne pepper, cheese, tater tots, and sloppy Joe. Mmm. Oh, that's delicious. Oh. I'm gonna do it. Might have been a little too much. Let's test it. It's a big old bite. It was so good. I'm sweating. Woo, that's good. Now, how easy was that, guys? Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Cooking with FatMat. Let me know in the comments how you liked it. If you get to try it, I hope you do. It's delicious. And we'll see you in the next episode. See you later.